Morning guys, welcome back to the shop. This is a follow-up video to gluing the first door, and I found a few things, learned a few things along the way I thought I'd share. First of all, these are the cups I use for mixing, and you can probably get these at Walmart. I think these came from the auto body paint store, which I used for my paint, and so I had these hanging around. So they work good. They've got the ounce scale on them, so I can kind of get an idea if I'm using what I think as far as quantity. And then to the door, I did the extra holes. I think I mentioned that in the video yesterday to try and clamp the two pieces together. And I got it on here now, and it's going to be hard to see, but a couple of them didn't line up where I thought. Yeah, you can't see it, but I think some of these were too far out, and they didn't actually clamp the two doors together. I was trying to avoid drilling into the cabin cover part of it, and I thought about doing on the second one, I thought about actually drilling into the cabin cover so the cleco would go through both door halves and into the cabin cover, but I don't think that's necessary. On this one I did what I should have done after I pulled it off and dry fit it again, and I can fit a regular 1-inch C-clamp around there, and it goes around underneath of the cabin cover, and it'll hold it good. You don't want to clamp this stuff too tight because you don't want to distort the skins of the door or the cabin cover. You want them to kind of naturally lay together, but you're trying to pull the two halves of the door together so that you get a good bond. All of these holes here will be trimmed off. You get trimmed to 3/4 of an inch of this flange, so most of this comes off. And it's the same thing here, that you come to within about 1/8 of an inch of this line, that's tool line that's on here, to trim it down so that it fits into the cabin cover. So I got all that work left to do. Seemed like there was something else. I had blue painter's tape. I used 3M tape to tape off the fuselage so that the resin wouldn't stick to that. And I did a pretty good job of it, but I think my tape was really holding good because I came out about 2 hours after. I kept checking it. It might have been longer than 2, but I kept checking it to see when it was starting to get set up, so I could trust that when I pull it off it wasn't going to delaminate the two parts. And when I went to pulling it off, it felt like it was really stuck to the fuselage, which is not really what you want. So it wasn't bad, but there was a few spots that I thought, man, it's really, is it glued down, and you don't want that. You don't want this. So I think my suggestion there is make sure you're checking it. I would pull it off as soon as you're comfortable that you're not going to delaminate the two door halves, the inner and the outer door shell. You don't let it sit there overnight. I wouldn't leave it on there overnight, because if you got some resin somewhere between the cabin cover and the doors that got underneath of there, it could be a real problem getting that thing off of there. So dry fit is my first tip. Make sure you dry fit. Don't do like I did. I kind of did, but I didn't really do it thoroughly enough. So dry fit. Make sure you know where your clamps are going to go. Because once you get into this and you start mixing resin, you're going to be rushed to try to get everything done, and you're going to kind of skip steps or cut corners, and you want to make sure you have it all planned out and thought out before you get started. I think that's it for now. See you next time.